Hey everybody, and welcome to Physics 1106, the lab portion of this course. I'm your instructor, Katrin Schenk. I'm a physics professor here at Randolph College. This is the second course in the introductory physics courses. The first one is 1105, and some of you may have taken that here at Randolph or somewhere else, I mean. Okay, so let's get started. So I just want to give you a quick video overview of the class. So we run everything from the Moodle page, and this is what you're seeing on the screen right now. Now, to get into Moodle, you need to go to moodle.randolphcollege.edu and log in with your Randolph username, which is like for me, it's kshank because my email is kshank is randolph at randolphcollege.edu and your Randolph password. Okay. So once you get into Moodle, you may be taking several classes. Just you click on this one and you'll see this page pop up. Now, the first thing you'll see is a syllabus. That's a link to another page, and you can click on it and see the all the info about this class. This is really important. This is the calendar for our class. It tells us about all the due dates. And let me explain a few things that are on here. So class starts tomorrow, the 26th of May. And all labs in this class have pre-labs that are due on a certain date, and those are shown here in the black print. You can see them here, right, for each lab. And then the suggested day to do the lab activities are in green. So that doesn't mean you have to do them that day. But notice that, like for this one, this is on Friday. If you do the stuff on Friday, it's due on Tuesday. That's only a few days away. So it's a suggestion, get the activities done because you'll probably have some questions about analysis, et cetera. It might take you a little while. So those are just suggested dates. Now, you'll see when we kind of scroll down, there's going to be some preliminary quizzes that are meant to get you refamiliarized with Excel, with, significant digits and things like that. That'll come up here. That's not on the calendar. You'll see it down below. But those are just to get you rolling. Now there's three different types. Actually, I think there's two different types in this lab. I don't think we're doing an oral lab report. So there's two different types of lab reports. One is an informal. You see that here. Here's informal, informal. And the other one is formal. Now the informal are just quizzes, all right? Asking you about what you did. It might ask you to enter some of your data, etc. Um, and those are just quizzes on Moodle. Now, the formal are actually written lab reports. And by the time you do your first one, which is lab 3, you'll know what to do because we have a special quiz to show you what to do and we have the rubric for you. And those are, you should upload one PDF for that or something, right? So we can grade that formally written lab report. All right, so hopefully that'll be pretty clear by the time you get there. Let's take a look at a little bit more of what we have here. So we have a videos conferencing link that's for office hours. Now, office hours are listed here, but the best way to get a hold of me and ask questions is by texting because I can get back to you right away most of the time, unless I'm driving. And just be aware that if you're texting me late at night, it might be the next morning before I get to you. But it's a really good way to get a hold of me because if we can't resolve something on text, we can immediately get on Zoom and resolve it, right? So that's how that works. Now, you will be getting a lab kit. And you may have already gotten it. If you have not gotten it already, it's going to be about a week, and the first few labs do not require the lab kit, so you'll have a little time. And we'll be keeping in touch about whether you get your lab kit or not. Now, when you get it, you should click on this and make sure you have everything, right? That's supposed to be in the lab kit. Okay, because you don't want to get to a lab and be like, oh no, I'm missing X, Y, or Z. So make sure you check that as soon as you get it. All right, so let's take a look at the structure of at least one lab here. So this first one is harmonic motion. It tells you the report type is informal. That means it's going to be a quiz. It tells you there's no lab kit required. But there is a lot of stuff to do on this first couple of days because this is what I told you, right? These getting you ready, like how to use Excel, statistics, and significant figures quizzes. They're not just quizzes, they're little lectures with questions. So it's not just like we're trying to quiz you about stuff you don't know. We're trying to teach you those things as we go. And of course, the pre-lab for the first lab. And there's a little checklist for you. There's always going to be an introduction video for every lab. There's a link to the lab manual. Here's the pre-lab quiz. Here's that Excel quiz I was talking about. Here's statistics, significant figures quiz, some hints, right, for this particular lab, um, and some data if you need it, and then the informal report quiz. Now, notice there's question forums on all these labs, and those are really not to ask me questions. Those are for you and your peers to ask each other questions or post a question, and one of your peers may know the answer. If you want me to answer a question, you need to text me, okay, or email me. Okay. All right. So, and then of course, here's the next one. It gives you a little checklist, no lab required, an intro video, the manual, a little bit of extra info, the pre-activity, and then formal reports quiz. So this is kind of how that goes. Let's take a look at our first formal written one. That's lab 3. Again, you don't need the lab kit. Again, I told you it was going to be a while before you need it, so that's good. Gives a little time to give it to you. And notice that we have this formal report quiz, right? That's to help you understand what you're supposed to be doing in those formal reports, so you can get all the points that you should get. Here's a guidelines and then that formal report quiz. Again, these quizzes are meant to teach you, right? Teach you how to do the formal reports. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a good idea of what to do for the class, and we'll be um, seeing you virtually in class again. Try to keep up with the work, right? I don't really like to have late people emailing me about late stuff, but if you have something happen in your life where you couldn't get it in, please email me. Okay, but we're not one of those classes that allows you to just kind of do it all at the end because that really gets people in trouble. This is only 5 weeks long, and it can be a lot of work, especially if you're taking the lecture at the same time. All right, good luck, and we'll see you in class.